What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another video. It's your boy Deep Rhythm, and we're back with another video. And today we got a special video for y'all. Today we got a few things we want to talk about today. And it's a matter of projection. You know what I'm saying? And perspective. You know, people, when you get into some of them environments, man, are talk about you because they're using you as a projection. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get into some of these spaces, man, people ain't got nothing better to do, or I guess they just don't got nothing better to do with their own time but to, sort of, I guess, talk, gossip and talk about somebody. You know, they always finding something to say about somebody. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, well, it's important, man, it's just, I just wanted to put that out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the projection, you know what I'm saying? People got a lot of projection going on, and I always like to project. Then, like, certain people, like, if the wrong person take that projection, they may actually think it's them. You know what I'm saying? Or that this shit got anything to do with them. You know what I'm saying? And, shit just fucked up, man. Folks is real life demons, man. You know what I'm saying? But I don't speak that sort of language because I know that we don't battle against flesh and blood. We battle against the forces of evil that changed and altered the thinking of people. You know what I'm saying? That's how they play. They alter the thinking of people. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't the person. So it's like, that's how we battle. That's how we fight. But, you get into these situations, man, that gossiping folk, man, like, folks just say anything, man. You know what I'm saying? They gonna say anything regardless, bro. Like, to the point, anything could fly out of a person's mouth, and you just got to be able to, man, maintain your own perspective and your own rhythm and not get too boggled down or caught up in what everybody else got going on, because everybody, you if you got your own natural rhythm, perspective, focus, and all this other shit going on, man, and I'm just here, I just got to deal with you for a few seconds or a few minutes, you know what I'm saying? And you got all this shit to, I don't know, project. You got all this shit to project, but you know what I'm saying? Like, man, I can't get caught up in that shit, man. That could really easily just have an effect, and man, like, that's the type of thing, the sort of thing, man, to just really, try to, stay away from and maintain your peace and perspective, and not even like give it a second thought or nudge, because, that's the type of shit that really, slow shit down. But, that's what I wanted to really talk about and just have a perspective on today. Like, the other thing I really want to talk about, is just, it's all about maintaining your vision, and just working your plan, working your goal, like, just vision, because a lot of times people come against, people and say a lot of things, and they try to change the narrative, or they try to for better sense of purpose, they try to say things that can corrupt your vision. You know what I'm saying? Saying things that can corrupt your vision, like watching too much influence on social media and like what people saying and shit, that sort of thing, right? Like blocking your vision. But the important thing, for me is just to not have your vision blocked by anything, and that's just like the nature of this video. And what I really want to talk about right now is just not having your vision get blocked and being able to readjust your systems to fit whatever type of scenario that you're in. You know what I'm saying? Because your scenario or whatever you're dealing with could just be anything, and just being able to adjust your systems to fit that outlet is what's most important, right? Doing whatever you can to make that shit happen and make that work, right? Because you might be dealing with a lot of information, or you might be dealing with a bigger load, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes, you just got to be able to make that happen, and make that happen, you know what I'm saying, and just force your will and make sure that you're able to do that, right? Taking care of your health, taking care of your well-being, you know what I'm saying, taking care of you, which is the most important thing, and then, you know what I'm saying, going after how you develop yourself, right? Now, never get caught up on the imagery in terms of what you see on social media as well, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's easy to get caught up in what you see on social media and try to implement it, you know what I'm saying, without first going through the proper steps. And we get away from the proper steps and the proper process of how things work within our own selves, right? How we process information and how we tackle things on a day-to-day basis, you know what I'm saying, can be got away from when we watch too much social media or we look at too much of how other people do shit, you know what I'm saying? And it's like we don't go through the proper steps and process in how we do things, you know what I'm saying, and how we operate. And then, you know what I'm saying, that could get you, all bent out of balance and stuff about what you see. And that's the most thrown off balance that I see in terms of social media and stuff, is just how much of a sway it really has on your own processing and how you know what I'm saying, implement and do shit, right? Because you got your own way of doing things and processing information and going about things, right? And it's important to be able to tackle every set goal with that tactic. Even how social media is so bad that it influences the way that you even perceive shit. You know what I'm saying? It influences the way that you think to the point to where you think everything, the visuals, the imagery, like, you know what I'm saying? It plays out the imagery in terms of like, what I see, you know what I'm saying, of like how I see things and how I envision things. That's a no-no, right? You know what I'm saying? That's a no-no when social media can now play a part in how I envision things. You know what I'm saying? Now you tapping into some very fragile and delicate stuff, because how I envision things is so how I go about, you know what I'm saying, tackling things, right? And how I tackle things should be based off how I process information. So if I get too caught up in social media, you know what I'm saying, and what I see, and it alters my vision and how things should look, now you're tapping into the way that I process, you know what I'm saying, how I process information and the way that I'm going to go about trying to get this done. You know what I'm saying? So the important thing to know is to be able to maintain, most importantly, first and foremost, is the process and how I process information, the process and how I go about implementing and tackling tasks, and being able to implement what I see and have it flow within the natural process and how I tackle things and how I go about doing things. And as long as it flows through that process, we good. Like, you get all this new type of information and education, you know what I'm saying, like on business and all these other type of things and stuff, man, like, and you just like, okay, let me just do all this stuff this way, right? And it's like, okay, some things, right, okay, is scientific, which is good, but other things, you know what I'm saying, man, is just like, it's from some of these dudes, man, it's just like, it is altering, or some of these people that get up here, it's altering the way that you think, you know what I'm saying? And it's just altering the way that you process information. It's altering the visuals and how you envision things, you know what I'm saying, to really be played out. And it's altering that whole process, you know? So, that's my problem with it. And, I just feel like sometimes we got to take a few steps back and really analyze our own selves and how we process shit. And be like, is this something that I'm willing to go for? And is this something that I'm willing to incorporate into the systems, right? What am I willing to change? And what am I actually changing when I actually, go about tackling certain things? So that's pretty much for the most part, like, the basis of what I mean by that is just like, what is it that's being changed? You know what I'm saying? When I implement something, right? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? When I put things in play, into play, like what's changing, right? And what, you know what I'm saying? That's the most important, what's being affected, just thinking about that a little bit, and that's my thing, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm gonna conclude this video right here. I think we touched on pretty much, just the points that, you know what I'm saying, that we wanted to get off our chest. So that's all, folks. Peace, love, and yeah, we out this joint.